Hi, everybody. I just want to introduce you to Wendy Nolan from Ontario, Canada. She's agreed to do an interview with us today on her success in her digital marketing online. Hi, Wendy.
Hello, thanks for having me, Sandy.
Thank you for joining me today. First question is, how would you encourage somebody who has never considered working online to actually take a serious look at working online?
That's a tough question. How would I encourage somebody? I guess the same way that you have to have it first off a desire to want to. Like you really have to have either a need or a desire to learn something new. Because if you realize that there's other opportunities out there for you, then, for me, I didn't even realize there was opportunities online, like when I started.
Exactly.
And then when
Me
I
too.
saw when I saw somebody's video, I was like, you mean I could actually earn online? Like it's possible because I thought I had to be techie. I thought I had to be all these things. But then I realized that it's been very simplified, kind of dumbed down. If you want to say it, I don't call myself dumb, but dumbed down to you don't need to be all these techie things. It's been made more available for us, you know, grandmas, if you want to say that, people who haven't grown up in the digital age, then
That's
I
right.
like, you know what? Wow, okay, let me learn about it. So I always encourage people with learn about it first. I have no clue if people want to do an online business but you don't know what you don't know until you know it. So
Hmm.
the first step is to take a chance and just learn about it. You don't lose anything by learning. You only gain stuff from learning. So you learn and then you decide, do I see myself doing this? And if you think, wow, I think I could do this. I want to try to do this. That's the steps you take, right? And you might look at it and go, yeah, no, I have no desire to do this. And that's okay too. But that at least helps you to know, right? But you don't
Yeah.
know those things unless you learn about what it looks like for yourself.
Yeah. And I mean,
Hmm.
it's such a large industry today. I mean, like, I grew up, thinking you got to go to school, got to get a career, you got to go to work. And exactly what I did. I did my nursing, worked for 28 years. And then you kind of get that realization that you're spending trading time for money, big
Hmm.
time,
Yeah.
and we didn't, like you say, we didn't have those options years ago that we have
Mhm.
today. So I guess it's just being knowledgeable, like you say, and taking a deep dive into the possibilities because it's $1 trillion industry out there right now.
Oh, and it's only growing. That's what Forbes
Mhm.
says, is it's going up. So I looked at things that do I want to learn something that is, going out or going up? Like, so the best
Exactly.
investment you can make in yourself is to learn something that is going up, right? Because that's a skill set that's going to bring you value, help you make money, help you grow a business in the online space. So that to me was okay. If Forbes says it, I mean, I'm not smart that way, but Forbes, they're in the business industry. They know the projections of what people are looking for. So when you can actually learn a high demand skill set, then that's what's going to help you create money in the online space. So, or in
And
any
I think
business,
too,
in any business, really.
exactly. And like I think that our generation feel like we have nothing to bring to the table, but like,
Yes. I mean, it's kind of funny when I actually realized, you think about TikTok, and I used to think, well, that's just for young people, it's a dancing platform. But when I actually realized, and I don't know, I saw the stats that people our age in their 50s are one of the highest age group on TikTok.
right?
Right? So
Yeah,
I think sometimes we don't give ourselves enough credit, maybe, but we're smart people. We've experienced life. We have a lot to share with the world. And when
exactly.
you can have a platform and you get taught how you can use that knowledge and our unique skill set, what we bring to the table, it's valuable. And you just learn how to do that in the online space. It's amazing things can happen.
Exactly. Because I mean, majority of us have held down jobs for a long time period. So like we have communication skills, we have organization skills,
Hmm.
and we actually have more time on our hands
Hmm.
in
Yeah,
the
kids are
digital age
gone.
too.
For me, I got my financial act together a little late in life. Nobody really taught us how to handle our money, and but then as we did, we realized we're in our 50s, my husband's 60s. We're not going to have enough to retire. And that's a very real reality for a lot of people. I don't want to be stuck longer at my 9 to 5 than, because we start to feel that stuckness, right? Like my husband and my job actually was opposite. He could have holidays in the summer, I could have holidays in the winter. That's how we managed life. So we didn't often have time together on holidays, which that's just a reality of our life, right? But when I realized that I could work differently, it opened my eyes to a lot more options for us. And I thought, I don't need to work past 65, because if I can start earning online, I can make money from my phone. I can earn an income regardless of where I am in the world, and I could be with my husband and my family more.
Exactly.
And those things are what really drove me going, I need to learn this. I need to figure out how to make that happen, because I didn't want what was happening in my life to continue. And now that I had a little bit of hope that there was another way, I'm like, show me the other way, because
Exactly.
I will do what it takes to change my reality. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's such a big part of it. It's just being open to that fact that there is things out there and that you do have the ability. And in this particular community we're talking about, you're never alone. I mean, it's
No,
such a community-based business.
absolutely. That's what I love about it, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't like doing anything alone. I like to know there's somebody I can ask a question to.
Same here, same
So with
here.
the fact that I go, because I know I will experience challenges. I know that. That's a reality of starting anything new. That's a reality of teaching this 56-year-old brain new tricks. I know I will struggle in certain areas. And I'm okay with that, as long as I have help to figure out how to get through that. What frustrates me is when there's no help, when I have to, I like the fact that there's so much help and support. That gave me the confidence to then start learning the skill set online.
I mean, it's definitely a very unique business. Like, to be able to interact on a daily basis, get daily instruction, daily access to other community members, and even the founders. So
Yeah.
you've done tremendously well. Just interested in, is there any specifics that you can say that actually led to your success?
You have to not be afraid to fail. I've been in the online space for probably, it's 5.5 years now. And I tried a number of different things, and I didn't have success. I had maybe a little bit of success, but nothing monumental. Then a few things I just flopped at totally. You fail, 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 and then you have success. Like, that's part of learning. Like when we started to ride a bike, how many times did we fall down before we actually got momentum and figured it out? When you start something, you have to give yourself the grace and patience to learn something new, and just look at failure as lessons learned, right? Nothing's really failure unless you just let it stay there and don't try again. And know that trying things is not, we always encourage our kids and our grandkids. I encourage my grandkids, try it. Try it. Try it. We wouldn't say, "Oh no, don't do that. You're just going to fail at it. There's no point." But yeah, we talk to ourselves that way.
Yeah.
So the thing I just say is, what led to my success is not being afraid to fail, taking a chance on myself. Too many people get stuck going, oh, what if it doesn't work? What if it does work? What can it do for
Exactly.
your life? And it's not what if it doesn't work, because it does work. You see people it working for. So you can't say, what if it doesn't work? What we really are saying, what if it doesn't work for me?
Right.
And that's what holds us back. And if we say, you know what, if they can do it, what is different about them than me? Nothing, other than maybe taking a chance and doing it. Like, that's where
Mhm.
action comes in, right? We take messy action, and we try, and we do this, and we try this, and we go, okay, and then you learn and evolve, and you can look back at your life, right? It's 2020 vision when you look back, and I can see how I was being brought down a path. God said, no, and try this. And when I try these things, and when I actually came across the particular business that I'm in now, all those things helped me become who I am in this business, and showed me the value of what I have. If I didn't see all these other things, I wouldn't go here and go, wow, what value I have in this business and what belief I have in this business and what it can do for people. Right. So
Exactly.
that's my success, is just try things. Like, don't be afraid. Like, you don't want to end your life and go, I wish I did this and I wish I did that. I want to
Exactly.
be trying things and going, yay, I tried this and I tried that. And that was fun, but not for me. Oh, like if you have that kind of attitude, think like a kid. Think like a
Right.
kid. What would you say to your grandkid? What would you say to your child if they asked you, should I do this business? Should I try this? Grandma, yes, try it. Yes, go for it. You don't want to quash their little dreams. And same with
That's
your
right.
dreams. You don't want to quash your dreams. Your dreams are valuable. They're important. They're who you are. It's God placed them in your heart for a reason.
Exactly. And I love that
Face them.
analogy. Like all these challenges you had was just God preparing you for this.
Right.
This is your time. It's in
Yeah.
his time. So I mean, you don't give
Yeah.
up. You keep
No.
trying.
Right. Exactly. You take messy action and you keep trying and you keep learning and you keep growing.
Yeah. And don't look at it as a failure. Look at it as a stepping stone.
Exactly. I always say the road to success is full of potholes.
That's right.
And
And we got a
expect
lot of
them.
them.
Expect them, right? You're like traveling around, boom, okay, there's a pothole. But
There you go.
you go through, you can get out through a pothole, right? Just push on the accelerator.
That's
Boom.
right. That's true. Yeah. So Wendy, looking back, anything you would do different?
No, like I said, all the things that I do and I try, like still to this day, you have doubts, you have discouragement. Doesn't matter what you do. It comes in life. It comes that's just a reality of life. But what I've learned now versus what then is I don't stay in it for very long. I've learned more tools and strategies to talk myself out of it.
Educated yourself quite a bit.
I do. I believe that if you're not learning, you're not growing. So when I challenge myself to learn and always get 1% better each day, 100% better than you were 100 days before.
Exactly.
And that's not
Yeah.
a long time, 100 days, right? We
No,
realize how fast time goes. So if we just look at, okay, how can I get better at this? How can I practice this more? How can I do that more? I mean, not to stress yourself out, but to challenge yourself, to
that's
not
right.
stay, not to just not stay compliant, and work on areas in your life that you need to work on. And just
Hmm.
some people are better at mindset, some people are better at different things. But if you struggle with your mindset, well, then work on things to get that mindset better. And there's so many different ways you can do that. You just have to find what works for you.
Different members have different areas that they excel in, and they
Yeah,
give back. It's so nice
right.
that with different members that'll speak on mindset, other ones that'll speak on content creation, and yourself. It's nice when you're in a community based with so much knowledge that people are so willing to share. And I think that was just asking you that question made me think of my own, not being afraid to go out and learn on your own as well. I kept thinking like, okay, I got this course and everything, it's all there. And this course certainly does provide just about everything that you do need. But don't be afraid to go out and do your own research and learn a little bit more. And you only become an asset to your business in helping other people as well. And
Exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
well said. And I'm always striving to learn, whether it be a little devotional in the morning, whether it be listening to a motivational podcast, whether it be, just tapping into somebody else's training. I love learning. And, a little tip that I do when I was driving my commute to work, like I started this business when I was working. So people think, well, how can I run this while I'm doing my full-time income or full-time job? You can. You fit it into the pockets of your day. And I had a 25-minute commute one way to work. So I just listened to training modules while I was driving. And if it
yeah,
was like actionable training modules where I had to actually do something, well, I just left those when I could actually focus. But if it was learning modules, oh yeah, I listen to those while I'm driving, because to me, that's dead time, so to speak. Like I'm there, I have to be focused on driving. So I have that time to just listen. So there's an hour worth of training that I fit while I was driving anyways. Right. And then the
Right.
rest of it's
Yeah,
like I'm just doing it in the different pockets of my day. And now
exactly.
through this business, I mean, I've been able to retire from my 9 to 5, which, whoa, I'm 56 years old. I retired at 55, the end of October last year. And I never thought that would be my reality. But if I didn't say yes to myself and say, when are you going to try again and learn something new and just, figure it out, that wouldn't be my reality today. To be able to earn from my phone to create a different reality for my retirement, it's unbelievable. But you have to take action to start. You can learn all you want, but unless you actually put some action behind that learning, nothing ever changes. Some people
That's
are
right.
just like to receive all the learning, but if you don't actually apply it, you're not going anywhere,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah, I think a lot of people do make that mistake.
Yeah.
It's definitely the implementation of what you learn. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess my final question was just basically how has it changed your life then?
Well, pretty much that. Like, really, the ability, like, one of my dreams on my bucket list was to take my whole family to Disney. And I remember when I first started this business and I shared it with my husband. He was very skeptical because I tried many things, right? He was always like, "Oh, here she goes again, trying something else." I mean, he wasn't. I didn't even tell him because I just knew what he would say, and I just was like, I'm just going to do it for me, and I will tell him when I have results. so, so I started to have some results, and then I was telling him we went on a date, and I said, "Oh, I really want to take." Like I was just dreaming in front of him, but he's the very analytical one, a little bit more factual. And he's like, "Yeah, well, don't forget, you got to pay your taxes on your business." Like he didn't sound like that, but he was just like, to me, when he was just saying, it wasn't like joining me in the dream. It was more
All right.
like, like suppressing it. That's
Yes.
which I got annoyed. So our date did not end well. I didn't talk to Holloway home. And I was just like, and he, anyways, so this past February we did. We took them all to Disney because of what I've earned through this business. My grandkids got to experience Disney, my two girls and my son-in-law and my husband and myself.
That's
And
wonderful.
that was a dream. And I expressed
Yeah.
it to him in the beginning. So that was kind of a funny story because I was like, "Oh, I'm making money in this business, honey." He was just like, but anyways, so it's changed my life because some of the dreams on my bucket list are happening. Being able to retire, it happened. Now I
Yeah.
can now get this. While I was at Disney, while I was there for our holidays, I made over $8,000 from my phone,
Amazing.
and that
Wow.
was the dream. When I started 5 years ago or 6 years ago, almost in the online space, my dream was to be able to have a portable, flexible income.
That's fantastic.
But some people would give up after the
Congratulations.
first year, right? Some people would give up after the first
Exactly.
year when they didn't have success. Some people
Yeah,
wouldn't keep pursuing it. But I was like, I see other people doing it. If they can do it, I can do it.
that's right. And it's your why. And your reason is the same as mine. I want to be able to help our son, just be able to live life on his terms and live out his passions. And today's world is more reason than ever to give him a little hand, that so he can get in a position, leave a legacy for our families. I mean, there's just
Right.
nothing better than that.
Right. It's true.
And
And
to
it's
help other people do the same.
Yeah. I mean, it's harder and harder for the young people these days with the cost of
Oh, it
houses
is.
and stuff like this. But then on the other flip, there's more and more options.
Yeah,
And there's both.
right.
And that's just the beautiful thing. But people just have to be willing to step out of their comfort zone a little bit, take messy action, try new things, and just see where it goes. And to believe in themselves.
Exactly. That's number one. Well,
Mhm.
thank you very much for giving your time to me today and doing this interview. And I hope anybody listening, if you ever have any desire to take that leap, make a change, don't hesitate. We're a group of over 50,000 members right now in this community, and it's just growing exponentially every day. We hope you take the initiative and look us up and see what we're all about. Thank you
Yeah, you
again,
can find
Wendy.
us in the community. You're
Yeah.
welcome.